Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis County, State of Tennessee, today. It's early Sunday morning, December the 9th, 2018, the time 5:11 a.m. And this is part 2 of the same video with the same date. And so I stopped, the first part with the date December the 9th, 2018, because it takes too long to upload. So like I said, this is the second part. This is part 2 of the same video. We was before I ended part 1 of this video, we was talking about Acts chapter 9 verse 30. So we're gonna continue to talk about Acts chapter 9 verse 30. And it said, which when the brethren knew, they brought him down to Caesarea and sent him forward to Tarsus. We're talking about Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, the devil. See, now he's over in Caesarea. He's in Tarsus. See, he was converted by Jesus Christ. He went in front of, he preached boldly in Damascus. Then he came to Jerusalem. Barnabas, Barnabas went in front of the apostles and declared how he had seen the Lord in a way, and how the Lord had spoke to him. He was going in and out with the brethren in Jerusalem. And he spoke boldly in the name of Jesus. Now, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, he is in Tarsus. He the devil. He the devil. Now let's keep reading. Then had the churches read throughout all Judea and Galilee and Samaria, and were edifying, walking in the fear of the Lord, and in the comfort of the Holy Ghost were multiplying. It came to pass as Peter passed through all quarters, he came down also to the saints who dwelt in Lydda. And there he found a certain man named Aeneas, which had kept in bed 8 years, was sick of the palsy. And Peter said unto him, Aeneas, Jesus Christ maketh thee whole, arise, and make thy bed. And he arose immediately. And all that dwelt in Lydda and Sarah saw him and turned to the Lord. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation called Dorcas. This one was full of good works and all deeds which she did. And it came to pass no day that she was sick and died. And when they had washed, they laid her in the upper chamber. And for as much as Lydda was not at Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter rose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him, weeping and shewing the coats and garments. And Dorcas made while she was with them. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes. When she saw Peter, she sat up, and he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when they had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon town. See, you're hearing things like this. But Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, he in Tarsus. You don't hear about people turning to the Lord. See, you don't hear about nobody believe in Tarsus, believing in the Lord. You're not hearing that. And that's a problem. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle, that's the devil. That's the devil. turn over to Acts chapter 11. As you know, Acts chapter 10 is talking about the Apostle Peter's vision. So we're going to get, and then over in Acts chapter 11, it starts in Acts chapter 11. It continues with the Apostle Peter's vision. So we're going to start reading in Acts chapter 11, verse 19. And it reads, Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch, preaching the word to none but to the Jews only. And some of them were men of Cyprus and Cyrene, which when they were come to Antioch, spake unto the Grecians, preaching the Lord Jesus. And the hand of the Lord was with them, and a great number believed and turned unto the Lord. See, people turning to the Lord, but you don't hear that in Tarsus. You don't hear that in Tarsus. The entitles of these things came unto the ears of the church, which was in Jerusalem, and they sent forth Barnabas, that he should go as far as Antioch, who, when he came and had seen the grace of God, was glad, and exhorted them all that were purpose of heart, they would cleave unto the Lord. For he was a good man, and full of the Holy Ghost and of faith, and much people was added unto the Lord. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for the seat of Saul. Let me stop right there. Now, Barnabas will have to make preparations. You got to make preparations because he's going to leave Antioch to travel to Tarsus in the first century. So you're going to have to calculate time. You're going to have to calculate distance. You're going to have to use first century math to calculate the time and the distance, because Barnabas is going to have to make preparation to travel from Antioch to Tarsus. You have to use the mathematical formula that the people in the first century used. And then, Barnabas got to seek Tarsus. He got to go to Tarsus to seek Saul. When you say you got to seek out to somebody, you mean you got to go find them. You don't know where they are. You don't even know if they're in Tarsus still, because he haven't been keeping in contact with the church in Jerusalem. He the devil. Verse 26. And when he had found him, we don't know how long it took, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that in the whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. Now he want to teach the people. See, you don't let the devil deceive you. See, when he was over there in Tarsus, he wasn't teaching the people. He wasn't teaching the people. Now he over here in Antioch with the disciples. Now he want to be a disciple. So now he wants to teach the people. He taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. We know that Saul came from Tarsus to Antioch. From Tarsus. It was him that said Christian. verse 27. Pay attention to verse 27. It's a very, very, very significant verse. Very significant. And it says, Acts chapter 11, verse 27. And in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. See, we thank God every day that the United Nations is there. There are many people on this earth who've been influenced by organized crime. And the way they've been taught. When you hear prophets, and what it means, understand what it means. There's a lot of people walking around, like the Mormons, for example, claiming that some man was a prophet. You see, in Acts chapter 11, verse 27, and in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. This series is a very significant verse. And in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. And there stood up one of them named Agabus, and signified by the Spirit that there should be great dearth throughout all the world, which came to pass in the days of Claudius Caesar. Then the disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and sent it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul. So that's Acts chapter 11. But like I said in verse 27, and in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. Now, we know that, it's been said that Islam, Muhammad, supposed to have been the last prophet. And it said that Jesus was just a prophet. See, when you take words and you use and misuse words, that's what happened. You have all these people that's being deceived, walking around, being deceived by the devil. By the devil. So again, verse chapter 11, verse 27 says, and in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. Now we're going over to Acts chapter 15. We'll start reading verse number 1. And certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren and said, except you be circumcised after the manner of Moses, you cannot be saved. When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small descendant disputated with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question. being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenix and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles, and they caused great joy unto all the brethren. See, this is how you know Saul trying to deceive you. See, things like that. How is it that you can be sitting around talking about conversion to other people and people turning to the Lord, but when you see Saul and Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, you don't see that he the devil. You don't see that he the devil. And when they would come to Jerusalem, they would receive of the church and of the apostles and elders, and declare all things that God had done with them. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that there was need to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. And the apostles and elders came together for to consider of this matter. And when there had been much dispute, Peter rose up and said unto them, Men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago God made choice among us that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. And God, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Ghost, even as he did unto us. And put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. Now therefore why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? But we believe that through the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ we shall be saved, even as they. Then all the multitude kept silent, gave homage to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonders God had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon have declared how God at the first day visited the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophets as it is written. After this I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David which is fallen down. And I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles, upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things, known unto God all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to God, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. For Moses of old time hath inherited of them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day. Being pleased that the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, surnamed Barsabbas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren. That was the end of that Christian stuff. And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and elders and brethren send greeting unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch, in Syria, and Cilicia. Let me stop right there. When you hear Cilicia, you know that Tarsus is in Cilicia. When you hear the brothers say, send greeting unto the brethren, which are other Gentiles, in Antioch is in Syria, and Cilicia. Tarsus is in Cilicia. Tarsus in Cilicia. The reason why they're sending greeting to the brethren of the Gentiles in Antioch of Syria and Cilicia, because Barnabas. Because of Barnabas. Barnabas had to leave Antioch to seek out the Saul. And when he went to Tarsus, he converted a whole lot of people. For as much as we have heard that certain which went out from us have troubled you with words, subverting your souls, saying, you must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we gave no such command, seeing good unto us, being assembled. Assembled with one accord to send chosen men unto you, with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. We have sent therefore Judas and Silas, who shall also tell you the same thing by mouth. For it seemed good to the Holy Ghost and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than the necessary things that ye abstain from meat, offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strange, and from fornication, from which if you keep yourself, you shall do well, very well. So when they were dismissed, they came to Antioch, and when they had gathered the multitude together, they delivered the epistle, which when they had read, they rejoiced for the consolation. And Judas and Silas, being prophets, also themselves exhorted the brethren with many words and confirmed them. This is a very important verse. And Judas and Silas, being prophets, also themselves exhorted the brethren with many words and confirmed them. And after they had tarried their space, they were let go in peace from the brethren unto the apostles. Notwithstanding, it pleased Silas to abide there still. Paul also and Barnabas continued in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Lord with many others also. And some days after, Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Lord, and see how they do. And Barnabas determined to take with them John, whose surname was Mark. But Paul thought it not good to take him with them, who departed from them from Pamphylia and went not with them to the work. And the contention was so sharp between them that they departed some one from the other. And so Barnabas took Mark and sailed into Cyprus. And Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of God. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming the church. Turn over to Acts chapter 21. Start reading verse 1. And it came to pass that after we were gotten from them, they had launched, we came with a straight course unto Coos, And the day following unto Rhodes, and from thence unto Patara, and finding the ship sailing over unto Phoenicia, we went abroad and set forth. Now when we had discovered Cyprus, we left it on the left hand and sailed into Syria and landed at Tyre. From there the ship was to unlay her burden. And finding the disciples, we tarried there 7 days, who said to Paul through the Spirit that he should not go up to Jerusalem. And when we had accomplished those days, we departed and went our way, and they all brought us on our way with wives and children, till we were out of the city, and we kneeled down on the shore and prayed. Now, some of these so-called religious people, they try to tell men that they can't have sex with a woman. They try to tell a woman, they try to tell the women they can't have sex with a man. You see, the scripture is a very important scripture. We're in Acts chapter 20, verse number 5. And when we had accomplished those days, we departed and went our way, and they all brought us on our way with wives and children, till we were out of the city, and we kneeled down on the shore and prayed. See, that's a very important verse, just like over there in Acts chapter 11. Just like over in Acts chapter 11, verse 27. And in these days there were prophets. And also Acts chapter 15. Acts chapter 15, verse 32. And Judas and Simon being prophets, also don't say they enjoyed the brethren with many words and confirmed them. Acts chapter 21, verse number 6 is a very important verse. I'm going to keep reading. Verse number 5, screw. Acts chapter 21, verse number 5. Now I'm going to keep reading. And when we had taken out leave one of another, we took ship, and they returned home again. And when we had finished our course from Tyre, we came to Ptolemais and saluted the brethren and abode with them one day. And the next day we that were apostles departed and came into Caesarea, and we entered into the house of Philip the evangelist, which was one of the 7 in the bar with him. See, now we're over here in Acts chapter 21, verse number 8. When you talk about Philip, like we read over there in Acts chapter 6 to 7, he was serving tables. And it says here in the Bible that he was a prophet. That he a prophet. And that Philip, he was an evangelist. And also, it said the same man had 4 daughters, and they were virgins. His daughters virgins. But it also said that they prophesied. they prophesied. Verse number 10, as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judea a certain prophet named Agabus. And when he was come unto us, he took Paul's girdle and bound his own hand and feet and said, thus saith the Holy Ghost, so shall the Jews in Jerusalem find a man that owneth this girdle, and shall deliver him into the hands of the Gentiles. And when we heard these things, both we and they of that place besought him not to go up to Jerusalem. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break my heart? For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die in Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Jesus. And when he would not be persuaded, we ceased, saying, the will of the Lord be done. And after those days we took up our carriages and went up to Jerusalem. There went with us also certain of the disciples of Caesarea, and brought with them one Mnason, a Cycus, an old disciple, with whom we shall lodge. And when we were come to Jerusalem, the brethren received us gladly. And they found that Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe. You see that? See, these are important things. I'm going to read that again. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. See, Saul is the devil. Saul is the devil. And they are informed of these, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the custom. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. Do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Them take and purify themselves with them, and be in charges with them, that they may shave the heads of all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law, as touching the Gentiles which believe. We have written and concluded that they observe no such things, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangling, and from fornication. Then Paul took the men, and the next day, purifying himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishment of the days of purification, until that offering should be offered for every one of them. And when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews which were of Asia, when they saw him, in the temple stirred up all the people and laid hands on him, crying out, Men of Israel, help. This is the man that teaches all men everywhere against the people. And further brought Greeks also into the temple and have polluted this holy place. For they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus and the Ephesians, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple. Yet all the city was moved, and the people ran together. And he took Paul and drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in an uproar, who immediately took soldiers and centurions and ran down unto them. And when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains. Demanded who he was and what he had done. And some cried one thing, some another among the multitude. And when he could not know the certainty for the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the council. And when he had came upon the stairs, so it was that he was born of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying away with him. And as Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto them? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? Well, Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue, saying, Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense. We in Acts chapter 22, verse number 1. Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept him more silence. And he said, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous toward God, as ye all are to this day. And I persecuted this way unto the death, binding and delivering into prison both men and women, as also the high priest doth bear me witness in all the estate of the elders, from whom also I received letters unto the brethren, and went to Damascus to bring them which were there bound unto Jerusalem for to be punished. And it came to pass that as I made my journey and was come nigh to Damascus about noon, suddenly there shone from heaven a great light round about me, and I fell unto the ground, and heard a voice saying unto me, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And I answered, Who art thou, Lord? And he said unto me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom thou persecutest. And they that were with me saw indeed the light, and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. Stop right there. Verse number 9, Acts chapter 22. It says, and they that were with me saw indeed the light, and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. He lied, he the devil. Put your bookmark right there. Now let's turn back to Acts chapter 9. Now, verse number 7, Acts chapter 9, verse number 7, it says, and the men. So, we don't know who they is over in Acts chapter 22. We don't know who they is. We don't know what they mean. But we know one thing, Acts chapter 9, verse number 7. It says, and the men which journeyed with him stood and were standing speechless, hearing a voice. They heard the voice, but they ain't see no man. So let's turn back. Put your bookmark back. So in Acts chapter 22, verse number 9, it said, and they that were with me saw indeed the light. We don't know who they is. But in Acts chapter 9 it said, and the men and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. We know that's a lie. We know that's a lie because it says in Acts chapter 9, verse number 7, about those men, but they heard the voice of him that spake to me. Verse number 10. And I said, what shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said unto me, arise and go into Damascus, and there it shall be told thee of all things which are appointed for thee to do. And when I could not see for the glory of that light, being led by the hand of them that were with me, I came into Damascus. And one Ananias, a devout man according to the law, having a good report of all the Jews which were there, came unto me and said, and stood and said unto me, Brother Saul, receive thy sight. We know that's a lie, because Ananias put hands on him first. In the same hour I looked up upon him, and he said, the God of our fathers have chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will, and see that just one, and shouldest hear the voice of his mouth, for thou shalt be his witness unto all men of what thou hast seen and heard. And now, why tarriest thou? Arise and be baptized, and wash away thy sins, calling on the name of the Lord. And it came to pass that when I was come to Jerusalem, even when I prayed in the temple, I was in a trance. And saw him saying unto me, make haste and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me. And I said, Lord, they know that I imprison and beat in every synagogue them that believe on thee. And when the blood of thy martyr Stephen was shed, I also was standing by and consented unto his death, and kept the raiment of them that slew him. And he said unto me, depart, for I will send thee far. Peace. to the Gentiles. And they gave audience to this word, and then lifted up their voices and said, away with such a thought from the earth, for it is not fit that it should live. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop on 22 down there. Let's go to Acts chapter 26. Start reading. One more time. Okay. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start reading verse 13. In midday, O king, I saw in the way light. Pay attention, pay attention. I saw in the way light from heaven. See, he always telling you that the light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining around about me and them that journey with me. He lying. We're going to put your football there. We're going to turn back to Acts chapter 9. Start reading Acts chapter 9, verse number 3. And as he journeyed, he came to Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. The light shine around about him. It's a light from heaven. And then did you see? And then what he said? He said, shine around about me, and then was journeying. That's a lie. You should see that he lied when he said the light shine around about him and them. That's a lie. The light shine around about him and nobody else. Verse 14. And when we were all fallen, that's another lie. And then it says in verse number 4, and he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? So I'm back on verse 4, Acts chapter 26, verse 14. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to keep with the pricks. So we know that Saul lied. When we turn back from Acts chapter 26, when we read Acts chapter 26, read verse 13, 14. And when we turn back to Acts chapter 9, we see the lie he telling. As it says in Acts chapter 26, verse 14, and when we were all fallen to the earth, you know that's a lie. You know that's a lie. That's a lie. Now we know there are 3 places in the Bible that talks about being a Christian. The first place it talks about being a Christian is Acts chapter 20, Acts chapter 11, verse 26. The second place you find that word Christian is Acts chapter 26. Acts chapter 26, verse 28. King Agrippa said he was almost persuaded to be a Christian. The third place in the Bible where you find that word Christian is in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but glorify God on his behalf. The Apostle Peter was telling, was talking about organized crime. He talking about, if any man suffer as a Christian. When you talk about that Christian stuff in Acts chapter 15, they had already put that Christian stuff to rest. That was already over with. It was already over in Acts chapter 15. Talking about being a Christian. That was over with. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. So that's the third place you find the word Christian. And like I said, if they say that stuff on another land, Jesus Christ never said it. The apostle never said that. The elders of the church in Jerusalem never said that. It was organized crime. Way over there in Libya somewhere. And then Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, wrote those epistles. The lies, they all lies. Every one of those epistles that he wrote, all lies. They all lies. And Apostle Peter in 2 Peter chapter 3, 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 15, 16, 17, 18. He exposed him. He let Satan, the devil. He giving them he let them know you're a false teacher. He let them be in 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 15, 16, 17, 18. Apostle Peter said, beware of false teachers. Guess what he is? He's a liar. He's a murderer. He's a devil. He's a false teacher. Right. Now we're going to continue to talk about African traditional religion. As you know, African traditional religion is being taught at institutions, Highland College, University of Southern Africa. You can earn a bachelor's, master's, PhD studying African traditional religion. One of the books we're going to continue to be referred to as type West African traditional religion, written by Dr. Joseph Wilson, when they didn't have no more debate. Another book we're going to read referred to as titled African Traditional Religion, definition written by Dr. Ibelo Jado. Another book we're going to read referred to as titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. Moody. Another book we're going to read referred to as titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S. Moody. Examples of schools in Sub-Saharan Africa that teach African traditional religion. Dr. Joseph was able to label PhD Aberdeen Senior Lecturer, African Traditional Religion, Department of Religious Studies, University of Aberdeen, Aberdeen, Nigeria. Dr. P. Avenue with a PhD, Aberdeen, Department of Religious Studies, University of Aberdeen, Nigeria. Ibalo Jado, professor of religious studies in the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Dr. John S.M. Beaton. He was born in Kenya, studied at Makerere University College in Uganda. Now we know that nations all over the earth, they enact laws that are intended to make each and every one of us safe from crime. Now the United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 to protect to influence the Corrupt Organization Act, the RICO Act. It's anti-gang. The Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, Kingpin Statute is all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, as well as other related legislation as anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang List Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice and Anti-Gang, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang List of Project Safe Neighborhood, United States Department of Justice, the Office of Communal Oriented Police and Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang List, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, International Narcotic Law Enforcement Affairs, United States Department of State, Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistance Education and Training and Great Program, United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, also do around the National Youth Gang Summit, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention since 1995, married with the National Gang Summit, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance since 2003. The National Gang Summit Combination of State Laws and Gang Prevention Overview for Research Program. Mr. James A. Howell, Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Juvenile Justice and Linked Prevention, the National Gang Summit Bullet, and the title of the book, History Street Gangs in the United States. Read the books in the book. Also, you go to the Quick Graphic Wikipedia, find the same information titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney, Man 1457, Criminal Street Gang, Statute 18 in the United States Code, Country 1. The United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigating National Gang Intelligence Center. The United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section, and there are other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategy, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, Changing Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum, and Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You go to youth.gov, be informed about the National Forum on youth violence prevention, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang List and the Comprehensive Gang Model. United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice System, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gang. Also, anti-hate. You go to lawyers.com. You go to lawyers.com and be informed about anti-hate. Everything I just read, the Department of Justice, they told you that organized crime and gang stuff is wrong. They told you it's wrong. everything that I just read. The United States government, Department of Justice, they told you that organized crime is wrong. That gang stuff is wrong. It's wrong. The prefixes and suffixes and root words, they are in Webster's Third New International Dictionary and Oxford English Dictionary. Webster's Third New International Dictionary, the complete total definition of the word gang, the act, manner, or means of going. It's mobile. innocent mob. Now that stupid sorority and that stupid fraternity, this sister. This is brother. Oxford English Dictionary. The complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang. Action or mode of going, way, past a set of things or persons. This is mobile and mob. The stupid sorority and their stupid fraternity. Just to reiterate, the United States government, the United States Department of Justice, they told you that organized crime is wrong and that gangster wrong. They tell everybody around the world, all around the domestic and foreign, they told you it's wrong. They told you it's wrong. They told you it's wrong. Now all this stuff about organized crime, devil worship. The Jew, first time you see Jew in the Old Testament, the book of Old Testament, the book of Esther, 2nd chapter, verse 5. Jews, Old Testament. 2 Kings, chapter 16, verse 6. The 5 books of Moses, and reading about the children of Israel. Numbers chapter 25, Israel's harlotry and Moab. Deuteronomy chapter 7, chosen people. Deuteronomy chapter 13, the dream of dreams. Judges chapter 2 and 3. The book of Israel chapter 9, titled Intermarriage with Pagans. Emphasize verse number 12. And all remember, don't let that sorority and fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. It's organized crime. It's tied in and based on the whole world, secret society. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. There's nothing right about no sorority and no fraternity. It ain't nothing right about no sorority. There ain't nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. It's all it is, a gang. That's all it is. There's nothing official. There's nothing right about no sorority and fraternity. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. The Catholic Church is organized crime. No, that particular church, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, Coptic, Ethiopian, Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, Albanian, Belarusian, Bulgarian, Croatian, and Serbian, Greek, Hungarian, Italo-Albanian, Macedonian, Melkite, Romanian, Russian, Ruthenian, Slavic, Ukrainian, the East Syrian Rite, Chaldean, Syro, Malabar, Red Syrian Rite, Maronite, Syro, Manichaean, the Protestant Reformation Church 95 East, major branch, Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist Church, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, Pentecostalism, minor branch, Hussitism, Robertsonism, Plymouth Brethren, Holiness Movement, Quakerism, multiple others. The interdenominational movement, evangelicalism, charismatic movement, neo-charismatic movement, other developed Arminianism, Pietism, Puritanism, Neo-Orthodoxy, Paleo-Orthodoxy, Christian fundamentalism, modernism, and liberalism. Related movements, non-denominational churches, house churches. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Churches of Christ, Unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ, Congregation, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. All these are cult leaders. Jim Jones, David Koresh, the Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, the Mormons, talking about he a prophet. And then you think about the leader of the Zoroastrianism, the Sikhs, the Baha'i, and some more. And then all these black men, like the American Muslim Society, the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation. All these various, what they call them, the Black Hebrew Israelites, and the Rastafarians. It's all organized crime, devil worship. All it is, because that's all the organized crime. The root of the organized is devil worship. See, there's only one church. There's only one church. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19, and Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. There's only one church. And the one church, the one and only church, the disciples, the saints, going to the United Nations, making it official. There's only one church. And at the same time, the International Criminal Court found criminal and civil charges against the Catholic Church and all those particular churches I just read, all the Protestant Reformation Church, the 95 Theses, all that American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, criminal and civil charge, all these cult leaders and cult groups, criminal and civil charge. It's a crime that you commit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a crime. They committed a crime. Then Jesus gave his apostles commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. John chapter 21. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. Self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He was lying. He was lying. He's not no apostle. We already read. We know he's not no apostle. He's a liar, a murderer, the devil. He's a devil. When we read Acts chapter we know we read Acts chapter 9, titled Saul's Conversion. And we read about the light from heaven that shined round about him. See, it's a heavenly light. See, you don't never let Saul deceive you. Don't let Saul deceive you. See, that light that came from heaven, that's God. That's God. See, he tried to sit around and talk about, who art thou, Lord? Lord, what would thou have me to do with it? Saul is the devil. He trying to deceive you and me. He trying to deceive you. He tried to deceive me. He the devil. When he went to Tarsus, he the devil. When you read Acts chapter 22, Acts chapter 22, verse number 9, and they, he lied, and they that were with me saw indeed the light and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. He lied. First of all, we don't know who they is. And second, he lied about those men not hearing the voice of Jesus Christ. He lied. He the devil. Turn to Acts chapter 26. Read verses 13 and 14. At midday, O King, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me, and them which journeyed with the light shining round about Saul. We don't know who them is, and the light did not shine around about them. He lied. Verse 14. And when we were all fallen, we don't know who we is. The only person who fell in Acts chapter 9, verse number 4, Saul fell to the earth. Saul fell to the earth. He the only person who fell to the earth. Because in Acts chapter 9, verse number 7, those men, they stood speechless, but they heard a voice of him that spake to Saul. They heard the voice. They ain't see no man, but they heard the voice. Saul lied. Saul lied. He ain't no apostle. He is not no apostle. And like there are 3 places in the Bible that word Christian. Now, Jesus Christ never said Christian or Christians. He never said that. Jesus Christ never said that. The apostles never said that. They didn't tell nobody to say they are Christian or Christians. It was organized crime. They said that in another land. Saul said that mess. He came from another land over there in Tarsus. The first place you see the word Christian is in Acts chapter 9, Acts chapter 11, verse 26. The second place you see the word Christian is Acts chapter 26, verse 28. The third place you see the word Christian is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but glorify God on his behalf. The Apostle Peter was not telling anybody to say you're a Christian. The Apostle Peter was telling you that organized crime was going around. If any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed. Glorify God. See, that's how the Apostle Peter said, glorify God. Because of organized crime, they devil worship. Organized crime, they devil worship. The Apostle Peter said, glorify God. They don't organize crime. They not trying to worship God. Because they criminals. They devil worship. Apostle Peter didn't tell you to be no Christian or to say you're a Christian. Apostle Peter said, you glorify God on his behalf. In 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 15, 16, 17, 18, the Apostle Peter, he exposed Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle, for being a liar, a murderer, for being the devil. he wrote those epistles. They all lies. And in those epistles, he called himself an apostle. The Apostle Peter read those epistles. The Apostle Peter read those epistles. Saul said he was an apostle. You the devil. Why would you? How could you think he's not the devil? Only a devil would do that. You spent all that time with the disciples, and you're going to call yourself a disciple and going to write those epistles. You know, you don't have to argue with these. You don't have to argue with nobody. That's the devil. That's the devil. Only a devil would do that. See, this is the reason why when you go back to Acts chapter 9, when Jesus Christ said, I am Jesus. See, you see how it comes back. You see that heavenly light. You remember that light from heaven. That's God. And then the voice said, I am Jesus. And then he said, Lord, what will thou have me to do? And then you're going to want to write a epistle and call yourself an apostle. If you don't see the devil, you know why you don't see the devil? Because you don't want to see the devil. Don't nobody got to argue with you. I tell you one thing. When them criminal charges and them civil charges, you go out here on this street and call yourself gonna start a house church. Let me find out about it. I guarantee you want somebody to argue with you. I see you in court. The church, the disciples, the saints will see you in court. So you think about that. Don't nobody got to argue with you. Nobody got to argue with you or waste their time with you. I'm getting ready to end today's video. And again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine video right here in the city of Memphis, in the county shit, in the state of Tennessee. I thank all my fans, my support for every team, encouragement, support. Always put God first. Always put God first. Matter of fact, think about that heavenly light. You know, put yourself, think about Acts chapter 9. You know, switch places with Saul. Just think about it. And just switch places with Saul. And think about it. And when you think about Saul in that situation, and then you think about how Saul wrote those epistles and called himself an apostle. Think about it. Just reflect on that. Reflect on, the things that you see Saul doing. Just like Saul being in Tarsus. Think about Acts chapter 9, those very first verses. The heavenly light, and he fell to the earth, and he's trying to deceive you and trying to deceive me. If you can, just put yourself in that position and think about what that heavenly light mean to you, and when you heard the voice of Jesus Christ speaking to you. You understand? Think about it, reflect on it. You take care of yourself. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you go to make anti-gang logos. Take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the very best. And I'm going to come back on my next video. We're going to continue. We're going to continue to stay with it. Take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the very best.